What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, the final one you will ever see in this Alphaland office. So I thought it was fitting that we do a Q&A. We answer a bunch of fun questions, and we address some of the rumors and the drama that have been floating around on other people's videos that I've seen people comment on. Normally, I wouldn't get into this kind of stuff, but it's like, hey, I'm going to tell you how I feel about it while not stepping out of place. And when you're an influencer and a public figure, people always want to speculate and create drama when there's generally not drama. So I'm going to try to put a rest to that. But we're going to have some fun questions as well. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a bag of sour strips, and enjoy. What is the scariest fan interaction you've ever had? You know, to be honest, everything's been pretty good with everyone who watches my channel. I feel like I'm like a relatable guy enough that I don't attract maybe the type of people you wouldn't want to attract where you feel uncomfortable. There have been a couple times when people have like sat outside my house, which is, not okay. I get a lot of mail to my house. People find my address and send me like wedding invitations or packages to my house. And I'm just like, please don't do that. Like, it's just, they're like, send it to my office. That's fine. But it just like, there's a boundary, I think, when you find out where someone lives and you go to their house or send things. It's like, I don't open them. I put them in the trash, and I'm just like, I hope you understand that, but just like, look, if you were out in public, say what's up to me. Don't come to my house, I did back in like 2015. There was a guy that used to email me all the time, like really, really weird cryptic messages. I'm talking like like novels in MLA format, and it was just so strange. It was like, I know this video was about me. Max, we need to talk. Oh my gosh, like, please, we need to talk. It was just this like weird thing. It was like this older guy. And then he showed up at an expo one time in like 2015. I was at the Quest booth. He came up to me and I was like, oh my God. He's like a much older man, like well into his 40s. And it was just a very strange interaction. And I'd already told him to like stop communicating with me because I was starting to feel very uncomfortable. And like, I wish I could show you these emails. And I was like, look, man, like we'll get a photo, but like, please, like you can't be here. Like I feel uncomfortable. Like I need to ask you to leave. And he's like, okay, I understand. Then he like DM'd me on Twitter after he left and was like, please, Max, like call me. We're supposed to be friends. Like we're supposed to like be together as friends. Like it was just, that's the only time something like that where I was like, do I need to get the police involved? I've never actually told you guys about that, but yeah, that was only one time. But so other than that, you guys are cool. How often in the day do you think this could be a episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm? So if you're unaware, Curb Your Enthusiasm is one of the best shows in the world. The main character is Larry David, who plays himself. Larry David is the creator of Seinfeld. And Curb Your Enthusiasm is essentially Seinfeld, but with cursing and no laugh track. And it's just like situational humor. You watch the episodes and you're like, oh my God, that happens to me in real life. And yes, there are many situations where I'm like, this could be a Curb one. The other day, actually, we were at a Mexican restaurant, and when you go to a restaurant and they put you like a small table and there's like a bigger table and you're like, can we sit over there? And usually they're like, okay. Well, the place wasn't that packed, and there's a table like 5 feet away. That was a much bigger round table. It was like me, myself, Joe. It was myself, Joe, Taylor. I think that's all it was. But we were like, hey, can we move over to that bigger table? Because we get like fajitas and stuff, and we wanted a bigger table. And it wasn't packed. It wasn't like we were taking up a larger table. But they're like, oh, like no, there's not a server in that area. And I was like, I almost wanted. It was a Curb Enthusiasm moment because I know Larry David would have been like, it's 3 feet that way. Just whoever's serving this table, just tell them to come over to that table. Like it was. You probably sound like I probably sound like I'm overreacting, but it was one of the situations I was like, why can't we sit 5 feet over there? Just tell the waiter to come to that table. But I understand there's rules and whatnot, but that is what Curb Your Enthusiasm is. It's like you walk your dog and like your dog poops and you pick the poop up and you throw it in like one of the random trash cans that are like on the street. And we've done that, but then he throws it in the trash can and like someone comes out and is like, hey, did you throw that in my trash can? And it's like, yeah, they're trash can. Like, you can't throw that in someone else's trash can. And it's like those types of, it's a great show. Would highly recommend it. Oh, man. How do you handle the finances and accounting of sour strips? I do it all myself. Not ideal. I do have an accounting firm that does my bookkeeping. That only started in the past like 12 to 16 months. So at the end of the month, they go through all my spending and they categorize it so that at the end of the year for taxes, everything is already categorized, right? Like, entertainment, meals, flights, travel, business expenses. So it's all kind of organized, and then you can see how much you made or lost in the month. You can see where you spent your money. So if you're like, oh, we spent a little bit more on marketing than we should, I don't really budget with the company or anything that I do. So it's like I don't allocate like certain percentages. So with finances, it's like, do we need to do this thing? Okay, I have enough money. Okay, let's do it. That's how I make my business decisions. As we scale, those decisions are getting more expensive. So I don't know if I can always just like do it how I feel that day. I think the next hire, not the next hire, but a hire for the company will absolutely be like I think they're calling like a financial controller, or maybe you go as fancy as like a CFO. Just someone that can, as the company scales, and because there's a lot of money just like moving around, right? And it's in large amounts, and having someone that their only focus is to like understand where everything is going and whatnot. But hopefully we never get to a point where we need to budget because we're just making so much money. No, that's not always the case. It's not always been the case. We're at a point now where luckily we can make decisions without having to like crunch the numbers so much. So no, I don't have anyone at the moment. I do it, which is not ideal. Okay, here we go. Are you and Christian still bros? What are your thoughts? What are his thoughts about leaving Alphaland? I got a million questions about why we're leaving Alphaland, and I'm going to address that. And in my mind, it seems very straightforward, but on the internet, people are like, "Oh my gosh, they had a falling out. Oh my gosh, what a bad friend. He's moving out. Oh my gosh, like something must have happened that he wants to disconnect from Christian." No. Let me explain, guys. I have 2 warehouses and an office, okay? I have Alphaland, I have Sour Strips warehouse, and then I have a storage warehouse that we store packaging supplies, right? So I have 3 buildings, okay? And my original thought was build out the corporate team right here. Sour Strips is right down the road. And when I need to go at the distribution center, I just drive down the street and we do all the creative stuff here. Well, I've lost some employees here, so now there's not many individuals. And then we are expanding with Sour Strips, so we're getting a new warehouse, a much larger, like over 60,000 square feet. And when you get a big warehouse with over 60,000 square feet, there's a lot of offices. So we are going to get out of the Sour Strips warehouse, and we are going to get out of my other storage warehouse and combine them. And at that point, you're like, why would you split up the team? And if there's offices over there, why would I continue to pay rent here, spend like $9,000 or $10,000 a month to be split up from my team? There's only like me and Callie here because Mona's, moving to Hawaii. Oz and Corey have left. So it just doesn't make sense. That wasn't always the plan, but plans change. Am I going to have to build out a new studio and stuff? Yes. And there's nothing going on with like me or Christian that, made this decision. It's strictly a financial good decision because I'm the financial, decider. And it's just like, why wouldn't we want to be under one roof? And I am so hands-on with Sour Strips. I'm in the day-to-day with the operations because I really want to be. So being there and understanding how the warehouse works and how we can improve our processes is really important to me. And I want to be like in the weeds and in the thick of the shit with the brand. And for that, I need to be kind of around the distribution world, right? I don't want to just get reports once a week or once a month, and I don't want to do all that. But it's like, why would I keep paying $10,000 a month if there's perfectly good offices at this new place? Like, it seems like common sense of why I would be moving. And Christian is going to Alphaland's going to rent out that other warehouse, the storage warehouse. Anabar is going to take the big Sour Strips warehouse, and then Alphaland is going to like convert this into more customer service and like blow out the podcast studio and extend the retail and stuff. So it's all going to be used. Is it unfortunate that I spent like 60 grand on all the build out of here because I thought I was going to be here the entire time? Yes. But it's a growing pain, just like with warehouses. When you think this one place is gonna suffice for the duration, and it doesn't. It just kind of, it is what it is. So yeah, it's strictly a finance, that makes sense, right? We got a bunch of warehouses. We're getting one big warehouse. I don't want to have the team split up, and I don't want to pay for 2 offices if I don't have to, so I'm moving. Seems very logical, and that'll happen like August 1st, assuming nothing bad happens. But no matter what, we're getting out of here, so I'm going to work from home because I'm traveling a lot in July. So we're just going to work from home in July, save 1 month worth of rent, and then start the financial burden again in August. Okay. How come you, Christian, and Shali don't hang out anymore? Okay. I don't really know how to answer this. I'm just going to tell you how I feel. I think that the older people get and the more successful that individuals become with their business, the more hands-on, the busier their schedule gets, the more they're unable to do the freely hanging out 24/7 like, you could before you started these brands. And, do I wish that our friend circle hung out more? Yes. Do I wish that everyone wasn't so deep into their business that they had the ability or the desire to go out and to want to go grab a bite to eat with each other, to go on trips with each other like we used to? Yes, I absolutely do. Do I understand that they're really busy? Yes. Do I get upset about it? I understand all of it. I just wish that everyone wanted to hang out all the time like I do. That's what I'll say. And I wish everyone would respond to text messages without it being like a month. There's a lot that I but is it maybe my idea of friendship means like getting together on a regular basis, and other people's is like, I have a lot of friends in Virginia and stuff that obviously we don't live near each other, but we don't see each other. And when we do, it's like no time has passed. And that is how I feel when I would see Shali, when I would see Christian. I just wish that, there's no reason why it's like we don't live in other states, so we can hang out on a regular basis. But I invited everyone to Mexico. Everyone's schedules didn't line up. It saddens me that everyone's growing up and getting really into their business, but I understand it and I don't hate on it. But I definitely wish we all could get together more often than very infrequently to hang out like we used to. But is there any drama or anything? Not that I know of. So unless I'm unaware, there's no drama. It's just everyone's busy. And, when you're running, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 million companies and you have a lot of employees and stuff, sometimes all your focus is work and then resting and then spending time with your partner, your loved one, I don't know. Different strokes, different folks. Do I wish everyone hung out more? Absolutely. But, I still consider Christian and Shali to be my close friends. I just wish that we all saw each other more, for sure, 1,000%. So that can we put that to rest? We can put that to rest, right? Okay. Is the Ninja Creamy worth it? Freaking yes. Do I think it's like a hype thing that will probably die out? Yes. I'm not someone who craves ice cream every single night, but it is lovely every single time that we use it. And once you've mastered the recipe, it's so good. The only problem is you have to think about it ahead of time. I thought the machine literally turned things into ice cream. It's essentially just some futuristic fancy blender that blends it in a way that turns it into ice cream once it's already frozen that other blenders can't do or something. It does its job very well once you learn how to properly do it. There is a learning curve to it. But yeah, I think it's worth it if you can get your hands on it, if you like ice cream and you can just make super high protein. It's literally like you're just eating a protein shake. So instead of there's no guilt to it. So instead of having a protein shake, you're I'm going to save that for tonight and eat it as ice cream, but it's just a protein shake. So it's great. Why don't you upload more frequently? I think that's probably the same reason why all of our friends don't hang out as much as we did. We're growing up and times are changing and it's unfortunate. And I think people want things to be the exact same as they were forever. And that's just not how it is. I think that I still produce content on a pretty regular basis. You always get, I'm leaving for out of the country in 3 hours and I'm filming this so I can have, a vlog and a Q&A up while I'm gone. I'm still, I've never really missed more than a week or so in the 10 years of making YouTube videos. I try to always give you at least one vlog and you're going to get a podcast. I do my best to run these companies, to have a life, to do everything and still produce content. I hold myself to a high caliber. I hold myself to someone who I feel is producing quality, thought out content on a very regular basis. So I'm satisfied and proud. I'm proud and satisfied of the amount of content that I am putting out. So I'll always try to do more, but it is what it is. Okay, this is another question that I didn't really plan on getting into because it's again not my world. But I've seen people keep DMing me about it, and people keep commenting on everyone. What happened with Oz? Why is he with Christian? Here's what I'll say. Oz was my videographer. He moved here to work for me about 3.5 years ago. He was a huge asset to the company, became a very good friend to me, and we did a lot of great content together, and he's very good at what he does. As a business owner, all you can do is provide your employees with the most that you can, whether that be the enjoyment of how they work, where they work, what they work on. I try to give all of my employees the freedom to hey guys, I have Max social media and everything that goes along with that. I have Everforward, right? And I have Sour Strips. And anything that you want to do with your skill set in those companies, you can do it. You essentially can tell me what you want to do. You want to edit more? Edit more. You want to be more, you want to have your, film more? Let's film more. You want to do more administrative stuff? You can do more, whatever you want, right? It's a choose your own adventure when you work for me. And with Oz, he got bored, I guess, of editing podcasts, but, he was the one that really wanted to edit the podcast. And then I understand it becomes a mundane task. So I offered to take that off the plate. And I think, he could do whatever, but Oz is a very creative individual. He could not get the creative outlet that he desired, and the type of creative content that I believe he wanted to create was not obtainable through the companies that I have. And he wanted to go off and, work on his own, have his own schedule, and, do whatever he wants. And he's a grown-ass man. He can do whatever he wants. I'm assuming, I haven't talked to them about it, but I'm assuming that Christian had some opportunities. Oz was like, hey, I need work. And, maybe what he's doing with Christian is something that will, allow him to get more, have more creative freedom than he could here, because I can only offer you what I can offer you. I can let you do whatever you want in the companies, but I can't just make up, huge projects, right? Or I can give that to the opportunity to my employees, but there's no bad blood or anything. I understand how maybe the public views it, but I don't think that was the intention. I just think that there was a creative opportunity elsewhere, and it just happens to be right here, and it is what it is, and I wish him the best, and I know that he's going to produce amazing content, and he really did change the path that I was on, and he elevated all of my content, and I love him. I love you, Oz. If you're watching this, I wish you the best. I hope you're crushing it, and I hope you become a director, and I hope that I can star in your movie, and we'll get some freaking sick angles. So it is unfortunate when something like this happens. All the drama is like, Oz left Max to work for Christian. Guys, Oz just made a decision, and he's doing it, and let's be happy for him, and let's move on with our lives. Is there anything business related that keeps you up at night? Yeah, stress, money, expenses, legal troubles, all the time, inventory, sell-through rates, all of that. Being an entrepreneur, like a lot of people, I mentioned Oz wanted to go off and work for himself. I think the dream is it's not everyone's dream, but the idea of working for yourself, having no cap to how much success you can have, being your own boss, having your own schedule, it's lovely. And I definitely, I understand why people would desire that versus maybe working for someone else. But there are a lot of risks to it. There are a lot of added stress. And those are the things that will make and mold, the people who are willing to stick through it. So there are a lot of times where I'm losing sleep or I can't not think about business pretty much all day. But I have a very good balance with everything that I'm doing. And so I don't really, I'm not someone who works really late into the night. You're not going to see me up Christian at 3 a.m. coming in the office. That's not who I was. There was a period of time when I did need to get up at 5:30 and be at the office at 6:30 and work long days. But I have a better balance now, and I want to spend time with my loved ones, and I want to spend time with Taylor, and I make sure that I get my work done, and then I relax at nighttime and try to separate. But I don't really do a good job. How much money do you save per month? Do you budget? Just like I said with my businesses, no, I don't budget. I don't really save. I've actually never, before I even started making, a substantial amount of income and started having my successes in life, back when I was like just graduating college, I still didn't have a budget because in my head, I never could wrap my head around the concept of like putting money in a savings. And I mean, I'm telling you, this is how I felt when I was like, 19, 20, 21, because I was like, wait, so if you have money and you put it in another account, like a savings account, because people aren't talking about the interest you're getting. They're just like, oh, that's my savings, right? I don't touch that. I'm like, wait, so if you put money in a different account, that'll make you not touch it? Why don't you just not buy shit that you can't afford and just keep it in your checkings? They weren't like, well, you're maximizing the interest earned. It's losing money sitting. They weren't talking about that. They were just thinking that the savings account literally would make them not spend it. And I guess, if it helps you, it helps you. But I'm just like, I buy things I can afford. I don't buy things I can't afford. It's similar to why I'm so, adamant about a credit card. A credit card is not going to make me buy things more than I can afford. It's just a way to maximize my money. And with savings and stuff and budgets, I know what I can afford and know what I can. I don't allocate a certain amount of money to travel or whatever. It's just how I live my life. It probably is confusing, and it is confusing to me, but it's just how I've done my thing. Wow, we're getting pretty long here. How is your sister and your nephew doing? Would love an update on their Texas living. So my sister, I moved her and her son here, and there's been some updates that it's not my place to kind of get into, but some things happened we didn't really plan on happening, and it's not something that obviously I'm gonna I'm not gonna get into it, but it's looking like there's a chance that she might move back to Virginia because of just certain circumstances. But she's doing great. I gave her a job working for me at the Sour Strips, warehouse. So she's been working for me this entire time. And one day I'll give you a true update. One day we'll have her more on the videos. But her, my nephew Asher, her son, he's doing great. We actually just went bowling last weekend with them and got some Mexican. We're teaching them young, no margaritas yet, but teaching them the Mexican food. But no, they're doing great, and it's cool to connect with connect more with my family and my sister and I. It's definitely a relationship that we didn't have the strongest relationship growing up because we were all kind of separated, and being able to build that a little bit more, I love the opportunity. And when I can help out my family, I want to help out my family. And people always ask me if she still has the car. Yes, she still has the car that I bought for her many years ago. It's in great condition. Not that I would expect it, but she hasn't hit anything with the car. There's no rim damage. It's in great condition. So it was a good purchase back in the day. How much do you procrastinate and do nothing for small periods of time during the workday? All the time. All the time. Let me say it one more time. All the time. Many times that I'm in the office, I'm like, am I actually doing any work? I was here all day, but I watched 5 YouTube videos and randomly scroll I'm just gonna be real with you. I check social media very, very, very often. I look at YouTube videos very, very, very often. I usually try to have it in the background, but I'll end up getting interested in what's going on, and I'll just kind of watch it. I do dilly-dally. I do waste time. I do procrastinate a lot. So maybe every entrepreneur and person getting off a private jet's like, I maximize every single second of my freaking day, dude. Even when I'm taking a shit, I'm signing deals, dude. Not me. Even when I'm working, I'm procrastinating. I've always just been like that. If I have 3 weeks to write a paper for school, I'm writing that bitch the night before. I just, I have a week to do this. I'm gonna do it the night before. But I always get it done. That's my thing. I was like, I procrastinate and I put things off and I waste time. But I when I have a deadline, I'm like, just don't worry about it. I'll get it done. What do you think is truly the definition of being happy? I am learning this more and more by being with Taylor, that being with your loved ones, 1,000%. I mean, the amount of change in my mindset that Taylor has brought into my world has been insane. and I love spending time with her. I love going on adventures. I love traveling with her. And I think that is what's happiness. And, I've worked really hard over the past 10 years to be able to get to a point where I can not stress about money, not stress about, the future, right? I'm pretty set. My family's set, and it's a blessing, and it took a lot of work to get here. And I'm still, not done, and I'm still continuing to grind and be an entrepreneur, even with a little procrastination, to make sure that Taylor and I and, my family and everyone can, have the best life possible with the work that I put in. And, happiness is, I'm experiencing it. I'm living it. And Taylor's bringing a lot of that. And I think for the longest time, you think making more money is what's going to make you happier. And yes, once you get past like not having to stress about going out to eat, not having to stress about your car payment, not having to stress about the mortgage, money can make you happy in that aspect. And it can buy you nice things, and it can take you on trips. But once you get the money thing off the table, more money is not going to, it's not an ever-growing thing. It doesn't make you more happy the more money you get once you can afford to do the things that you want to do. If you need to elevate your lifestyle every single month, then sure, money may make you happy. But for me, it's spending time with Taylor, spending time with my family, spending time with Taylor's family, spending time with my sister, spending time with my nephew. That's what, spending time with my friends when I can. And so that's what I think happiness is. Why is Taylor the best? Listen to the last one. All right, I have a couple more, but I'm gonna I'm gonna wrap this up here with a one of, are you going to drop Everforward and only focus on sour strips? This deserves like its own video in itself, and I know a million times I've talked about Everforward, and I'm like, it's back again this time, and it is coming back again. I actually have two entire lines in the warehouse ready to go, all new products ready to launch, but I haven't because what I'm trying to do, because I don't want it to come back and go away. Clothing is something that I found success at, but I never found the success like the people around me. And with Everforward, I think for the longest time, I tried to find, what does it represent, this motivational phrase? And then, I realized people started wanting to, this outside of just like supporting a creator, they want a clothing company that, means something to them, that they feel a part of something, the culture, look at Anaka, look at the dark sport with the wolves, and they're like, like, look at that, look at Alphaland, right? Like, you look at Young LA, like you want to be a part of this. And I kept trying to figure out what is that thing Everforward is. How do people be a part of Everforward, right? I think I need to let that go and just be like, guys, if you want to support me, that's great. But Everforward is a brand that's going to have your essential items, high quality, at respectably affordable prices as much as I can. I can't compete with freaking, Zara and H&M and stuff. But I'm going to do my best to put out really nice pieces that are the daily essential. And there's no culture. It's just good clothes. It's just your essentials. You need a button down, I go to Everforward. You need a pair of chinos, I go to Everforward. You need a bomber that I know is going to fit well, be high quality, and is always going to be improving, Everforward. And it will be coming back this year, and I'm waiting until I have about 4 launches completely lined up, done, and I'm getting there. So I think starting in July, it should be like July, August, October, December, like launch. And I'm gonna do my best to deliver these products to you guys. I'm gonna see what the response is, and I think at the end of the year, I'm gonna make a decision of, do the people want it? Does it continue to make sense? Because financially, I'm losing money on Everforward because I'm spending so much money and I'm not selling any clothes because we don't have anything. But I'm investing a lot of more time and effort into it. But also, it's like, in terms of financial, sour strips is Godzilla, and Everforward is an ant in terms of like how much money it brings in, right? And it's like, do I continue to pull time and effort away from sour strips to focus on something that financially doesn't make as much sense and that, never had like a rocket ship kind of growth? And it's like, yes, I could hire someone, but if I hire someone to completely take it off my plate and me just be like, yeah, okay, approved. All right, back to sour strips. All right, yeah, approved. All right, back to making YouTube videos. Am I doing it for the wrong reasons? And at that point, I'm just doing it to make money. And Everforward is such a passion project for me. It started, with the stems from my dad, and for me to just pass that off to someone and me not be involved at all and just produce the clothing and say yes and no and then just make a little bit extra money, I think I've lost the purpose of why I want to do it. I want to be passionate about it, and I am passionate about it. But Sour Strips was an unexpected success, and it's only going to continue to grow and require more of my attention, and it's super interesting to me. And maybe there's a point when I'm like, hey, I love Everforward apparel and I think it's great, but it was the stepping stone to get me to Sour Strips, and it's time to move on to the next thing. But we're not there yet. We still have a lot more exciting launches and items for guys and girls coming later this year very soon. So if you guys want to support me, get some nice clothes, we'll have some stuff for you. If you want to feel a part of the culture and, maybe it's not the thing for you, but yeah, I'm still up in my head about it, but I just want to be transparent, and I'll go more in depth on another video. But I am going to wrap this up. We leave for, I guess I can tell you, we're going to Spain, bitches, for a week. When this video goes live, I am flying back. So I'll be back today when this video goes up. But the future is going to be great, guys. I'm really excited. And I want to say all the questions about, Charlene Christian, me moving out, Oz, I hope that I worded it correctly, and I stress that I want what's best for everyone. I want everyone to be happy, and whatever, people change, people evolve, people grow, people have different interests, and you just have to accept that. And you can't dwell on it because there's just no sense in it. But yeah, so don't overanalyze everything that I said. Hopefully I did it in a proper way. But yeah, the future for my team, my relationship with Taylor, my family, my viewers, we have an exciting ride. New warehouse coming soon, which I'm waiting on the lease agreement. That's why I haven't told you which one it is, because I'm like, what if this falls through? I hope it doesn't. No matter what, I'm getting out of Alphaland, but we're going to work from home for a little bit. New warehouse, potentially a gym in there, which I meant to discuss on here, but I'll talk about that in another video. Start building a house in a couple years, start building a family in a couple years, and I'm going to take you along on the ride, I think, unless I don't. Was this a less energetic podcast? I tried not to be like yell because we have the mic. Did this sound good? This is how the podcast sound every single Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, even though we're taking a season break while we change offices. But that will wrap this up. Please thumbs up the video. Leave your comments down below. New videos every week here on the channel. Go check out the podcast. Don't be sour. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eat more sour strips and Everforward. Woof. By the way, look at this setup. Hold on. Look at this setup. Look at it. Oh, I forgot this has a mic. Hold on. I'm gonna look at this. Hold on. How do I get this freaking thing off? How do I get this off the thing? Keep going. Hold on, guys. We're going. Look at this. Look at this setup. I put all these chairs right here to block the sound because it was very echoey in here because there's nothing. But I like the lights. Did the multiple cameras, was that cool? Was that cool? You want to see dude in this video? All right, we got to go, man. We got to go on a plane. You're hanging out with Taylor's mom the whole week. I love you. I can't wait to see you again. I love you, dude. Say nothing if you love me. Okay.